Yay. Hi there, and welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. Today we have my beautiful co-host, Anastasia, joining us. Thrilled
Hey,
to have you. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
thank you so much for having me.
You make it so much fun. You have no idea. Today's live show discussion topics include anything you feel is newsworthy, of course, as usual, about anti-racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. And corruption, yes, corruption. Have to say it again. As always, the show's meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and to serve as an educational tool, cultural competency, with a focus on learning the truth about systemic racism in America. But we talk about a lot of things. Yeah. I do hear a little bit of an echo. I don't know if people can hear it or not. Son of Yah, welcome. Thanks for being here. Let me know if you hear an echo because we're just getting started. I'm going to blab through the boring part. Announcements. I'm excited because I got my first Patreon patron.
Woo!
His name is Ramses, and he actually comes to the show sometimes. There is an echo. Okay. So can you thank you for Dragon Soldier. Thank you for telling me. Can you mute yours and see if there's still an echo? And then it is muted. Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, that was fast. I'm like, I can't hear you. Hopefully that'll make a difference. Let me know if it's okay. Because she's going to mute and then just give a wave if you want to jump in. Because you know me, I will blab and like just shove you out of picture. And, it's me by accident, of course. I just wanted to give a special thanks to Ramses for joining in. And believe me, the URL for my crazy. Oh, okay. Oh, that's from you. Don't hear an echo. Okay. Thank you. You're the best. Thank you guys. It's right here. And I am on that simply because I'm getting my butt booted off of YouTube. And I already got booted off of. Yeah. So I heard it was harder to get kicked off. I can only get kicked off so many places at once that I won't be doing anything. But what I did is everything on there is just going to be exactly what I have on YouTube and exactly what I have on my Bobby here. Oh, here after your radiation treatment. Oh, my sweet friend. Thank you so much for being here. Bobby, I expect you to jump on in at any time. And I hope you're doing okay. So I wanted to explain what I am doing with this Patreon thing really fast, and then we can get started because we have lots to talk about. Everything is, I'm going to put all my videos on there that I can, and hopefully I won't get kicked off. But I also have, because they have these like levels and all this, I don't even know what I'm doing. I like the game Cards Against Humanity. So shoot me. It's like, I really think it's a funny game. I think it takes everything full circle, and you can just be obnoxious and just laugh at all the ludicrous stuff. And, I try not to cross the line, but you know what? It is Cards Against Humanity. And I just love that game, and I'm going to play it. Anyone who goes to tier 2, I'm going to play it once a week with them online. And I don't know why I love that game. I guess it just out in the open. I like everything out in the open, just, real, keeping things real. Once again, I wanted to tell anyone who has, sorry, I'm blabbing, Anastasia. It's like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Janie's here. Anybody who wants to personal message me to say hello, please do it from there because I will look for my personal messages. And if you happen to have cutting edge news that just came out, I would love your help because damn, there's a lot going on. And if you want to call into the show later on, last thing, here's the number. All right, tonight's topics that I have prepared are, and of course, anything you want to talk about, you may, of course, because our topics cover everything. Racism 101, when white folks say something racist. Okay, usually we freak, basically, but okay, I won't get into it. Is one of my topics. We just freak. Oh my God, they're going to think I'm racist. We can't handle it. It's like really, nightmare, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm just being real. We tend to freak. Because that's like the worst. That's worse than like the F word. I don't know. It's like being called racist is like, oh my God. Okay. Colin Powell. I'm going to talk a little bit about some memes that have been popping around in the social media. And then my big thing, Ahmaud Arbery and his murder. And I do not mince words. I do not call it a police shooting. It was a murder. Sorry. If you don't agree, I'm totally fine with it, but I will keep it real. App Happy, welcome. welcome. So I'm starting with like a really very beginner, how to handle doing something racist and live through it. Okay. And yeah, this is Vernon. Welcome. And I know it's like, are you gagging? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm gagging, because you said, how do you cope with doing something racist? It's like, really? How do you cope with it? The simple fact of the matter, just don't do it.
Right.
Or
I know.
yourself.
Exactly. Well, that was the first thing I thought of. Like, don't freaking do it, you moron. But I'm sorry, we do it. We just do it and we do it. And we do. Mahako, welcome. We do it. We're so ignorant. It's going to happen. If you are truly, truly going to jump in, it's going to happen. And you are going to, and I'm talking about how to handle if you say something racist that you're just ignorant, not purposely like a jackass. I'm talking about like you really are just ignorant. Oh my God, for somebody who's trying. If you're just a racist piece of shit, well, I don't care how you handle it, That's not, but yeah, I should have mentioned that because a lot of white folks get defensive and they just back themselves down and they're in a corner and it just gets so ugly. It doesn't have to. You need to just stop. And so that's what my video is about. They just want to get a rise out of you for any ethnicity. Yeah. And this tonight is about somebody who actually is trying, but blows it. Like they really, really want to learn, but they just mess up. And it can happen. Like they say, there's so many things. Oh my God, I don't even want to start. Remember, I work with beginners on my one site. So this is my little beginner. People who don't know a thing, have been raised, in a racist setting, in a racist family, or in a neutral setting where they don't see color. Oh my God, no. So it's like there's nothing in our lives that'll teach us unless we, as white people, catch on and go, oh my God, I don't, there's something I'm missing here, So I'm talking about people who they want to learn, but they're just like, oh my God, they're like, hot mess. But you'll see. Okay. And right, of course, don't do it. But I've made mistakes. I've blown it. It happens. It's a lifelong learning curve for us white folks.
Yeah, it's for all of us because the thing about it is Jane Elliott said one time, if you've gone to school in this country and you spent 12 years of school in this country, you're indoctrinated into racism anyway. So whether it's intra or inter, that, there's things that I've done unconsciously and some consciously. And like you said, if you're really doing it out of ignorance or, yeah, but you know how I am. And we've talked about this before. It's not my job to educate you. And you'll learn about what you care about.
Yep, that's why I'm here. I'm here because it is my job and I want to have it as my job and I'm happy to have it as my job. So if you ever do find somebody that you are dealing with, send them my way. I will personally work with them. I will meet them where they're at. And Lerone, hello, welcome. And oh my gosh, we're getting the topics for tonight. Okay, since I adore this man. I will repeat them. Racism 101. What do you do when you're white and you're trying and you say something racist? And you're like, oh my God, you don't freak out. Okay, just don't freak. That doesn't help. But I made a little video on it and I want to know what you guys think. What would be good for you? Now, obviously, don't do it. But I'm talking about people who they screw up. And it's a lifelong journey. White people will never know. We'll never get it all the way. Sorry, we won't. But it doesn't mean we don't try. So I think how you handle it can really make a difference for you. I don't know if it can for the person, but how you handle it. Whether you handle it like you're arrogant and obnoxious, or whether you handle it like, wow, I messed up. Okay. And the video says it all. And you can tell me what you think after. Okay. It's a really short video. Son of Yah, I personally think racism started from what we see on TV, the narratives, the media projects of certain people, places, and things. Definitely that's a part of it.
Socialization is definitely a part of it. We're socialized from birth on gender. We're socialized with sexism. We're socialized with racism from birth. So that is correct. I mean, that's one of the places, but you learn that from the people that you're closest to, which is your family.
Absolutely. We're indoctrinated by our family, the media, school, friend, everything, right? And Mahako, I forgot to tell you, Racism 101, that's a very small part. Colin Powell, some memes that came up that I want to know what you guys think. Lucky for me, I don't know enough to have an opinion. Yes, it keeps me out of trouble. And the main thing tonight, Ahmaud Arbery and the inside scoop of what's going on. It's already been a total shit show in my mind. I mean, I don't know what to say. All right. So I'm going to show you, start by showing you a quick video that explains one way, not the only way, to handle it if you're white and you inadvertently say something racist out of ignorance, not malice. If you say something out of malice, you're a jackass. Okay. I can't help you. Go away. Bye-bye. Okay. But seriously, if you're trying hard, you're going to blow it once in a while. Not often, but so here's the video. And you can tear it apart if you wish. This is just one idea, one way. All right. Let me see if I can get this going here. I think I can. Okay. And let's begin.
Welcome to Anti-Racism 101. How do I handle it when I'm confronted and accused of being racist? If a Black, brown, Indigenous, or African American person accuses you of being racist or discriminating, then you are. And here's the thing. The first thing you want to do is avoid getting defensive. And it's the hardest thing to do because few white folks think of themselves as racist. And we don't want to think of ourselves this way, so we're very defensive. We want to say, oh, we didn't mean it that way, or oh, I didn't mean it that way, or, God, you're so sensitive, or something like that. You took it the wrong way. The hardest thing for us to do is just stop making it about us. And we need to. It's not about us. It's time for us to sit back and listen, because we're about to be given a gift. If the person confronts us, it is a gift, because there's a good chance they're going to tell us where we blew it, and then
She can't hear the video.
and somehow get through each step in the continuum, the anti-racism continuum, because it's a lifelong venture for white folks. We'll never get there. It's time to listen and humble ourselves. So, and let me tell you, the hardest part is keeping from being defensive, because you want to defend yourself, and of course you didn't mean to say something incredibly rude and hurtful. Of course not. But you did, and you'll be okay. Use it as a learning experience. It's not easy. The one thing you don't want to do is the defensive part, but don't deny the person their feelings. You don't know better than they how it feels to be a person, non-white person in a culture of white supremacy. Do not debate them. You can't debate someone's feelings. It's their feelings. Please don't give your opinion. Your opinion means nothing. They're living this. Okay? So if you can do that, you will probably gain some respect. And it's not an easy thing to do. You have to have kind of a decent self-esteem and know that, you know what? You did your best. and you'll do better. And that's all you can do is keep trying to do better. Thank you for joining me in this Racism 101 for new learners. And I hope I will see you at the next one.
And I will shut
Don't
me
forget
up
to
and let me tell
tell me what
you.
you think in the comments below. And subscribe.
Oof.
Thank you. See you next time.
Uh-oh. Okay, I think it stopped. I'm not sure. Sorry about that.
Welcome to another anti-racist.
Oh no, it kept
Why is this
going.
series called Anti-Racist?
I'll
Well,
stop
that's
it.
a great question, and
I meant to get rid of it. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about the technical issues. I had an engineer come in and tell me 15 things to do, and so hopefully you heard part of it. The bottom line is it's for white folks who are really, really beginners. It's a warning. You are going to mess up, and you gotta just be quiet and listen. And, that's it. What do you think? What would happen for you? What would you like to? I mean, there's no good scenario.
Well, the thing about it is, I was going to take copious notes. But,
There's nothing.
I mean, the thing about this is the whole thing. We all mess up. The simple fact of the matter is you spoke about impact versus intent. And so you're right. There are some people that don't know or think what they're saying is harmless or whatever the case may be. And what you told them was, hey, just be quiet. And if the person says it to you, you're either going to do better or you're not going to do better. But also, I would like to add, don't expect the person that you offended to do the work for you. Don't ask them what books to read. Don't ask them. Now, if you literally really don't know, you say to them, hey, I grew up in this type of situation. This is what happened. I did not want to offend you. I'm not asking you to do the work, but steer me in the right direction and leave it at that. But if you're expecting somebody to teach you and train you, that's not fair to us. It's just like I tell people, do you expect the victim of a sexual assault to teach a rapist why what he or she did was wrong? No, that's not my job, So, and again, I'm not a monolith. So, of course, it's not going to be ask a Black woman today, because that's not what we're doing. This is not ask a Black, like Dave Chappelle, ask a Black guy. This is not ask a Black woman, segment. So I can only, and me and the Black delegation, we didn't have a meeting this week, our weekly meetings. But for me, I'm not going to educate you. I am not. If you wanted to be a doctor, you would look up, you would go on Google, you would use this, and you would find out. And that's the end of it. But that's my take on it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, the videos that I create, when I say 101, I really mean 101. I mean, I'm talking people who've never met a Black person in their entire life. All they've seen is TV. I'm talking really low level because that's who I mostly run into. Really low level. And so the reason I have that is because they need to understand that this is a lifelong venture. And what you said, that the impact that you have, whether you mean it or not, it is still a horrific racial thing to do. It doesn't mean, well, I didn't mean it. Well, that's neither here nor there. And so they need to understand it's not about us. And when I say be quiet and listen, I mean, don't sit there and go, oh, I didn't know. Just listen, because you might get some really good information, not learning, but something you can take back and say, wow, okay. And so you need to stop making it about you as a white person and kind of stuff a sock in it and start listening. And not that person can teach you, or maybe they will, maybe they won't. Most likely it's not their responsibility to teach you. You can't ask somebody to live in a world of white supremacy being abused with microaggressions here, left, right, maybe a few big, huge things, and then also teach me. No, it doesn't work that way. We are responsible for teaching ourselves. But if you are lucky enough to have somebody tell you, you need to listen. And that's the hardest thing to do when you blow it. Because you just want to go, defensive. So that's all the point was.
And another thing, what I was gonna say was just because we're in that certain other group does not make us, this expert on it either. Because I may not have grown up in a situation where I had to deal with it either.
Absolutely.
As you know, I'm from Brooklyn. So a lot of people assume for some reason, I don't know why, that everybody grew up in the ghetto out there. Like not everybody, and different ghettos are different. You know what I'm saying? Like a ghetto up north is not the same ghetto down south. And even in parts of down south, there's levels of, poverty, just there's levels of wealth. So I have to tell people first of all, I grew up in a brownstone, like the Cosby Show. What are you talking about? And I was surrounded by military people. Now, yes, I did live in poverty, but not to what you may, stereotypically think was going on. So, yeah. And then self-deprecation. Like, we don't want you to apologize to the point where it's like, oh, I'm just ashamed of my race. No, we just want you to do better. Just do better.
Right. I mean, there's no shame and guilt. It just does nothing. It just does absolutely nothing for anybody. And also, a lot of times when white folks will start in like that, it really does make it all about them. They're not the hurt party. They're the lucky party that they didn't get their, face popped in or whatever. They need to. They're not the hurt party, so we can't make it about us, and that's our tendency. So. Enough about that. But yeah, it's really important. I just want to do a little real low level stuff because I don't teach, inadvertently, I might teach Black, brown, or Indigenous people some things, and that'd be great. But that is not my place. I don't know more than the people living it. But what I can do, and I do feel very responsible and comfortable doing, is teaching white people. So I started out with a kind of a, it's a little shocking when you make a mistake. And you think you're, because we like to think we're perfect and yeah, we're not. So anyway, let me take some comments. Mahako says, I agree. It's crazy for someone to say something racist to us and then they assume we got to present them with books for them to act right. Yeah, no, that's not how it works. You don't put the emotional burden on the victim of your, ignorance. In this case, that's what we're talking about. No. And so this is really important it sounds so beginner, but I'm telling you, I've worked with thousands of people who really don't, we just make it all about us. That's what we do. We're good at it. Son of Yah. I once worked with a white guy who was a racist. He never admitted it, but I noticed it in his mannerisms. He would act different if I came in the break room. I just knew. Yeah, I could see that. Because one of the things we do as white people, and I don't speak for the white people or whatever, that's for sure as hell, but I speak for me, and I have worked with a lot of white people. So one thing, before I forget, we are incredibly cognizant of it. Okay, even if we're over racist, we're really cognizant of if we're called racist. So that's a toughie for us. And what was the other thing I was gonna? I'm blanking out tonight, but there was something else I was gonna add as well, and it'll probably come to me. Here is the number. Again, you can always scroll up and grab it. Had a request for the number. Let me see here. Let me think. What was I getting at? I think it's really obvious sometimes when people are uncomfortable and we do certain things that we might normally not do. We talk certain ways. And here's the thing. This is what I was going to tell you. a lot of people, not I say a lot, but definitely an amount of people that I work with who are not white learn stuff from me because they didn't, like Anna was saying, they didn't grow up with a ton of racism. They just didn't. And they know it theoretically, but they're also indoctrinated too, because we're all, so it's like, I'm not saying people can't learn from stuff that I say, obviously, if they don't know the hidden history. I mean, I'm actually researching it and maybe they have other things they're doing. But there are people who say, like, I don't know if Mahako wants to jump in, but we did a bunch of videos and the first part of his life, he's not that old, but the first part of his life, he really was like, what? I don't really get what the big hype is. So, and then he moved to Maine. Oops. And there's that. So, I mean, I had one kid, really young kid, say he wanted me to tell him the secret of why white people do this. And I was like, hell if I know. But it was just so like, he thought like there was like a secret we all keep. Well, I don't think anyone can keep a secret like that.
What I was going to say was, so it's like telling a fish they're wet. A fish is going to be like, what is wet? So when you're indoctrinated, it's normalized. I was just going over the stuff that you said. It's not so that I wasn't hit racism. You're surrounded with it. It becomes your life. So you don't know anything different. But what I will tell you is that there's a different etiquette from being up north than it is being down south. And one thing I could tell you that I appreciate with being down south is that they will tell you who they are.
Like,
see, up north, they're more blunt with it. Well, I mean, up until a point, they still had the stars and bars in their flag. So when we would see that, I'm not going in there. Or you see it on their car, or you see the Confederate flag, or they had Confederates Day, and these people, like our house was near a cemetery. And on Confederates Day, they will put the Confederate flags in the cemetery. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they didn't hide who they were. And I respect that. I want you to tell me exactly who you are. So there's no, we see, Jelani Day. Jelani Day was murdered. And they said more than likely the people that murdered him, he knew those people. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I don't want to be the one Black person at a party or camping or whatever, and somehow, some way I turn up dead because the people that I was around, I didn't know who they were. So I respect that more than them being cowards.
You'd rather know. I want to know, like, wear a badge or whatever. I'm trying to think about it, like, actually, as a white person who's very much, cognizant of this systemic racism, I would want to know too. But that being said, it kind of mind equals blown. It like the way that the people are so proud, like they don't, like, I would be so embarrassed to be that, like, I don't know how to explain it. So I get kind of like caught up in that, like it's like another dimension to me. Phone call. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for.
Is it too early to call in yet?
Yeah. Thanks for calling in. What's going on?
Okay. I understand. I mean, Anna, she had a good point right there.
She always does.
She always does. I mean, I love her. I love her too. Just like you love her. I love her too.
She's amazing.
But growing up in the South, like in Alabama,
mm-hmm.
I had a military career of 22 years, and I had a chance to see all different types of people and how they live the whole 9 yards. Like you said, in the South, they're gonna let you know up front. They're gonna let you know. Because to the North, anywhere else, they're gonna sugarcoat everything else. But if you have eyes to see, you should be able to see. Right? Nothing has changed. It's the same thing, the same song all the way around the world. Okay? And I grew up in the South. I grew up with Martin Luther King. I saw them personally. And I went to church with every last one of them. I mean, John Lewis, all of them. I saw them.
Wow.
But there was still no hatred here. It was just a lingering for understanding. Why you are like this? Why you do this? I couldn't find it. Until I listened to the Bible. But everybody don't believe in the Bible. I like they don't believe in the Bible. But it's right there. It's brother against brother because of blessing. It's just that simple. We won't go there right now because most won't understand this. This is weird because I can't hear myself.
I can hear. Can you hear Anastasia? Can you hear? I can hear you pretty well.
I can hear you well.
I can hear you now, right now.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's
Well, but that's good. I know what I mean. I'm responding what Anna said.
responding to what Anna said.
She's right on. She's right on. They'll put it right in your face and tell you point blank and what you gonna do about it. I can't do that right now. I can't do nothing right now. But get rid of me, though. I will.
But just be safe and stay
All right.
safe. All right.
Hmm?
Just you got to stay safe and stay away from. I mean, I don't know. Is that what you do? You just stay away? Or what?
But you can't stay away. You can't get away from it because you live in it. You live like you're with it. So where are you gonna go? I mean, if you're old enough, you understand what's going on. So I mean, where are you gonna go? If you talk back or fight back, I mean, they're gonna bugger you up. So really, what? I'm asking the audience that question. Really, what? Where are you gonna go?
At least you can be aware. I mean, be aware and don't go alone anywhere with people like that. I mean, I guess that's terrifying to me, but I haven't lived it my whole life.
That's what I
So
do. That's what I do. I make sure my brothers and sisters are aware because I grew up with this. I walked in this. When you look at those news films, those old footage of Martin Luther King in Birmingham, Alabama, if you look hard enough, you can see me in there. I was a little child, but I was in those footages right there.
Uh-huh.
I grew up with that. The bombing of the church of Birmingham, I was in that. I lived this.
Mhm.
I lived every bit of this. But you don't see me out there bombing, shooting up post offices and stuff like that, right?
say that once more.
You do it right.
Say it once more, Bobby.
Sir, I grew up with that. If you see the bombing of the churches,
Yes.
that's me. I'm right there with it. That's how old I am. I'm right there with it.
That's your generation, right? Right. I got it.
Okay, I'm right there with it. I'm not fully understanding, but I'm not mad at anybody. I want to talk about it.
Mhm.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. You haven't gotten jaded. That's great.
I'm retired military. I've been Devil Storm and Rocky Freedom over 9 yards. Like, I know the fire weapon, but I haven't done it. I don't need to do that. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If you break up critical race theory, oh no, we won't talk about that. What? Really? For what? Why? What? This is weird because I can't hear myself. Really, I can't hear myself talking.
Well, you're doing great. I'm very happy that you called in. Do you want to make any other points? Because I'm thrilled that someone with experience has called in. We've been doing lots of videos and lots of talking, so I know he has a lot of experience.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna do something else because I can't hear myself.
Okay.
This is weird.
Okay. Sorry about that. But you sounded
All right,
great.
then. Y'all keep going now. Y'all doing a good job. Keep going.
Thank
Keep
you.
going. Keep going.
Thanks for your support. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye, Bobby.
All right.
Bye. Bobby and I talk a lot. He loves you.
I love him too. So I wanted, of course, I take my notes. So he talked about the civil rights movement and the murders and the bombings and the lynchings, right? A revolutionary is a doomed man. Okay. A lot of us know that when you decide to fight against white supremacy, white male patriarchy, and at the top of that is capitalism, you are a doomed person, right? Now, back to what he was saying about the military background. The issue with that is the only time they see us is through the eyes of a white person's eyes. The word D.L. Hughley said the worst place for a black person to live is in the imagination of a white person. So if all you're seeing is us in movies and we're thugs and gangsters and twerking, and this is the only time you see us, this is what you're going to think. And like he said, I've been to Turkey, I've been to Italy, I've been to Iraq, I've been to all of these places. And I'm going to tell you what the main thing is. Do you know how to twerk? How many videos were you in? You look like Naomi Campbell. And it was a black, when we were in Turkey, it was a black man and a tall white dude. They thought he was Eminem and Method Man.
So they get all this from the media. Like
They get all of this from the media, and it's like, what are you talking about? What video I've never, I'm in the military, and what are you talking about? So the thing about it is that when the stories are told, the story is only a one-sided story. So it goes all around the world. So representation is very important. The last thing I'm going to hit on is what he talked about talking about something, right? Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael said, if Angry Soccer Mom wants to do something to me, that's not my problem. That's her problem. But if Angry Soccer Mom has the power to do something to me, then it becomes my problem. So when we're talking about these discussions, we've talked about it, we've prayed about it, we've cajoled, we've sang about it, we've cried about it, we've been murdered for it. As far as I'm concerned, there's no more talking to be done. The fact of the matter is that we have to fight for liberation of everybody. There should be no changing of the whip, because some people, they don't want liberation for everybody. They just want a change of the whip, or they want a better cage. So that's my point.
That's definitely a good point. And in this day and age of amazing technological communication, there is no excuse for anybody to not know what's going on and to say, I just don't know what to do. Yes, you do. You don't want to do it. You got to be real. This is everywhere. People are remaining willfully ignorant. Okay. And that is, that's terrible. It's just a slap in the face to our fellow humans. And so send them my way. And I don't mean that. I will work with somebody as long as it takes, because I will do it. I want to do it. So let's take some comments. Do you want to jump in for anything else? Great comments. And I think what Bobby was saying is, Bobby, and I'm not speaking for him, but I've talked hours and hours with Bobby, and he isn't bitter, although he's been through a lot of experiences. He's not bitter. And when he says, I'll talk about it, he really will. And probably to nauseam, because it's like, right, talks enough already. For some people, they're just like, enough. But he is a really affable guy, and he will talk to people. Even I, as a white person, I'll talk to people, but people who want to learn. I can't waste my time on, I just can't. Because, we're talking like, it's years and years and years. If they want to learn, I am all over. I will do whatever it takes. But if they don't want to learn, I can go to somebody who does, because white folks who are racist are a dime a dozen, and they're everywhere. We're everywhere. It's it is what it is. But if somebody doesn't want to learn, they're just not ready yet, apparently, and that's a really sad place. But It's a nice way to put it. But let's take some comments here. We got a bunch of people making comments. I'm thrilled. Vernon says, I know someone who's been called racist, who's been called racist for years and they still don't get it. And Vernon, I don't know that person, but you know what? I'm thinking they don't want to get it. This is not like at the very like lowest levels. This is not rocket science. Okay. This is really not. I once got a book before I adopted my little girl. I got a book on a person who wrote about, Black people and white people. And they said it's basically just being really freaking rude. Now, this was her take. It's just really rude. It's a form of incredible rudeness. And that's how she liked to look at it. Now, I took it with a grain of salt because I think it's a little beyond that. But but the way she was putting it was simply that everybody understands rudeness. Like, let's not pretend, no gaslighting. No. Let's be real about this. I can't stand the bullshit. That's what kills me. So, however you want to deal with it, but become actualized, do introspection. White folks, deal with the pain. You'll be a better person for it. Because you know what? You want to stagnate and just like be the same as you always were, or do you want to grow and become a better human being? I hope you do. Yes.
All I was gonna say was that we talked about this the last time I was on. Racism hurts white people too. You know what I'm saying? Along with hurting Black people and minorities, it hurts you too. Because the thing about it, we talked about this about the pools and the schools. Because the thing about it is, poor white people, they don't like you neither. So they don't want to pay for you to go to school either. They don't want to pay for you to go to the doctor. They don't want you to have a pool. They don't want you to have anything. And the thing about it is that what I love about this pandemic and what I love about, first of all, let me stop because I was about to say something that almost made me throw up in my mouth. I was about to say something I love about Trump. But what I mean about him is that before, we was post-racial and, everything was good and Black people.
Obama, right?
Yeah. Everybody, Black people was like being able to dance in the street, like in the Wiz and all kinds of stuff like that. But the thing about it, what Trump was like, nah, not today. We about to bring it back like a remix. And so now you see, they don't like Black people. They don't like Jewish people. They definitely don't like poor white people. And they were willing to show you that by letting you die, by letting you go bankrupt, by all of these things. And if all you have is your little small whiteness, you seen how far it got you. Right on Skid Row with everybody else. Just like, I don't know if you watched that show Squid Games, right? The best part in there is that you had the two characters, one that was the fool and the gambler, and then you had the other one that I know you didn't watch it, but the other guy, he had went to school and was supposed to be this big shot, and he was like, oh, you're a fool. He said, wait a minute, but you're right here with me. So what does that mean about you? So that's what, and that's where we're at. You're just like Martin Luther King said to the CO that was in it. He was like, you need to be over here with us. You're just as poor as I am. So,
And that's a great point. Until white folks realize that we have a common plight with Black, brown, and indigenous people of mixed heritage and African American. We have a common plight. We're not the wealthiest elites, like I always say. Thank us for our service. We help, and we perpetuate systemic racism, and it is against our best interests. But part of the problem that just blows me away is the hatred's really real, and it's very extreme. The depths of it are, once you get into it, you're like, damn, you can't even believe it. We will die and not have something as long as you don't have it, just to make sure you don't have it. We will not swim in a pool, a community pool. We will just have it, completely filled in with cement just so you can't have it. We can't either, but you can't have it. We will not give you medical care when you need it. And even if we need it, but as long as you can't have it. And that's a pretty, the way I put it is, we love our racism more than we even love ourselves. It's almost like, it's crazy, basically. Pretty crazy. But that is the depths. So there's that. Let me take some more comments, unless you want to jump in anytime, Anna. So Vernon, sorry about that. That's got to be really frustrating. Happy, there are a lot of Americans who have ethnic biases. Absolutely. And you'll notice little kids, unless they are directly taught, they just want to play with everybody. They don't care. We are socialized. You're not born this way. There is no gene that makes you a jackass, a racist piece of shit. No, it's your surroundings. And everyone has the American culture surrounding them. What happens in your home is another thing, but I don't know if it can counterbalance it. I hope so, but I don't know. And, there's just really not a lot of things for white folks that are going to teach us about this. You're not going to get it in school. You're not going to get it from your parents. We are so segregated. You're not going to get it because you don't know Black, brown, indigenous people well. If you know somebody, it doesn't mean you know them well. And if you do know them well, then you'll know what they go through. But if you don't, you just know a person who's Black. So you don't have a Black friend, you have a Black acquaintance. So it's a big difference. Let me see. But yeah, there's a lot of that. Vernon, they just post racist stuff and don't even know it. Do you want to jump in on that, Anna? I thought you might.
They know it. Come on. See, this is the thing. The issue is,
that's just Vernon's opinion.
This is the thing. White people know. The thing about it is, they have conversations, and Angry Soccer Mom, I know you know this, that you could be in a room with another white woman or white man, and you will have a conversation. And if I was to come in the room, that conversation would cease. White people have these conversations. They know they're not, and this is the thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. My body, my choice. If you didn't understand the conversation between, reproductive rights, you wouldn't have used that. If you couldn't understand racism, you wouldn't know what reverse racism is. If you couldn't understand the plight of civil rights or lynchings, you wouldn't be able to articulate that for a minor inconvenience. I think it makes us feel better to think that they don't know, because when you're dealing with somebody out of ignorance, now it's, you didn't know. They know. They know.
You're letting them save face.
Right. But I think it's for us too. Because just imagine living in a world, or living in Australia, where everything around you wants to kill you. Everything in your world wants to kill you. Just imagine that.
Horrible way to.
That's a horrible existence. So you're gonna make these stories up in your head, whatever it may be.
They just don't know. They just don't.
Yeah, they know what. Just like the thing about Karens. At one point in time, I used to think maybe white women were scared of Black people. And then I started watching. I was like, white women aren't scared of Black people. I was like, because you wouldn't run up on somebody like that if you're scared. If I see a dog coming, I'm not scared of dogs. But if I see a dog that I don't know, I'm not going to run up on the dog and start messing with it. I'm going to, hey, keep it moving, dog. Keep it moving. But they run up on people for no reason. So, like I said, Chads may be scared of Black people, specifically Black men, but they are not scared of Black women. They're not scared of Black children. That's why you'll see a Black man will get ran up on by a white woman, because she knows a white man will run up on a Black woman or a child because he knows. And it's not about fear, it's about control. But we want to live in this world that we think that they don't know.
Great points. I think you're probably very, very much correct. The way I look at it is, personally, at some level, we know. It might not be the level that you know, but at some level. And Jane Elliott says it perfectly, right? She talks to the audience. Raise your, she's this innocent white audience. And she says, raise your hand if you'd like to be treated the way we treat Black people in America. And not a single person raises their hand. And she says, so you do know. You do know. At a certain level, you do know. That's kind of my thing. I'm like, I totally get what you're saying, because at a certain level, yes, we do know, because we know right away we don't want to be treated that way. So you can't have it both ways. Like, what? Huh? Treated what? No. So we know it's not a good thing. And so we don't want it for ourselves. So why the hell do we want it for other people? Great comments. You always add so much, and I really appreciate it. And I think, it's a toughie, because some people, they really do seem like they're that dense that they don't quite, and it's there's a lot of psychology to this, and oh my gosh, people's egos, and it gets very complicated. The bottom line is, at some level, we absolutely know. But that's kind of my point. But anyway, great points that you made, Anna. Let me keep going here. But Vernon, I absolutely get where you think that, maybe, because they seem so, we are like, we seem oblivious. It's because in a lot of ways we are oblivious. It's our world, and we just allow you to live in it. So we're so used to making it, to othering and making it about us, that it almost appears like we don't get it. But at some level we probably do. But anyway, let me see. At Pappy, even from outside America, like people from other countries, that they don't like certain Americans. Yeah, I mean, this is a worldwide problem, obviously. And I mean, this is not, I speak of America because that's my main focus, but oh my goodness. And also, if we could straighten out our act somehow, in some way, maybe we could actually take the high road and be the leader.
The thing about it is that this thing about othering people is not just an American thing. Right. It's a different othering. You know what I'm saying? It may not be Black people, as in Black Americans, because out there we represent money. You see what I'm saying? But think about people from different countries. Say you're from the Middle East and you go to an Asian country. Or say you're an Asian and you go to a Middle Eastern country. Or, say you're an African, an African from a different African country. Say you may speak French versus speaking English, versus speaking Dutch, versus speaking German, depending on what part of Africa was colonized.
Right.
Because the thing about it is, you have Asians in Africa that built schools that Africans can't go to, or jobs that they won't hire Africans, or Asians that went to the Caribbean but won't employ people from there. And you understand what I'm saying? Or to the fact of, like we were talking about Squid Games, where you have different nationalities. I'm gonna say nationalities, not ethnicities, but different nationalities in that country, and they look at them the same way they look at us. You want to check their status. I bet you're an immigrant. Or no, she said, I bet you're an illegal. You know what I'm saying? So she said that. So at the end of the day, even racism within nationalities and stuff like that, that's not just an American thing. It's called it's a book called Black Rednecks and White Liberals by Thomas Sowell. And what he says is that, he said, middleman minorities are the buffer between the consumer and the producer. So they get the brunt of it. You know what I'm saying? of the vitriol. So instead of us looking at the person that's put us, we're crabs in a barrel. But versus looking at the person that put us in the barrel, we looking at the other crabs.
Yep, and that's exactly what's happening on a macrocosmic level in America. The wealthiest elites have turned us all against each other, and they do it, and that is all they need to do to make us not unite against them, because that's their worst fear, is that we will, white folks who aren't millionaires and billionaires, will say, we have a common plight with everybody who's not, and we'll look at the economics of it rather than the shade or the amount of active melanin in our bodies that's active. And we will say, you know what, we have a common plight. Let's get together and make a voting bloc and kick these people, make them stop voting in their own interest and destroying our, what we call our democratic republic. And that's their worst fear, because all of a sudden, they're going to be in trouble. But you know what? There's always something new. There's always a new way to divide. And we fall for it every generation over and over. And they count on it. So let me just see here. We'll keep grabbing some. T says, I'm from the north and moved to the south, and they hide it more in the north. Yeah, interesting. I've never lived in the south, so I don't know. But I mean, I'm listening to my friends, and I hear what you're saying. Very scary. Mahako, very true, Anna. People up north are fake as hell to your face, but are quick to fire you behind lies or be a part of some other form of racism towards you behind the scenes. Interesting. That's scary. Mahako, neither is okay, but I get exactly what you mean. And then we have Dave. Good evening, Igor Mom. I'm sorry you've had a bad week. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Dave. Well, I'm glad if you're still here. I'm glad to have you here, and hang in there. I'm very, very sorry about that. App happy. Police officers don't hide their racism anymore. Right? It's unbelievable how. I mean, before they could hide it because we didn't have the cameras. Now they're just proud. I mean, did you see in the summer, not last summer, but the summer before, with all the people trying to protest, there were cameras everywhere, hundreds, thousands. They did whatever the hell they wanted. It was unbelievable because they knew they could get away with it. I saw infraction after infraction after just crazy. I want to try to get through these. Oh, go ahead, Anna. Go.
But Will Smith said this. It's not the fact that it wasn't happening before. It's just being filmed. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, Amadou Diallo was murdered in 1999. So, the fact of the matter is he was shot at 42 times. It's not that these things weren't happening. It's just that they're being filmed now. Absolutely. And even with it being filmed, we're talking about Ahmaud Arbery. We're going to talk about it. But you saw what happened on camera. You saw what happened on camera to George Floyd. You are seeing these things on camera, and people are still saying, well, what happened before the video?
Exactly.
Okay, that's the whole video. Well, you sure they didn't have no running? So at the end of the day, and they've said statistically, when you look at body cams, especially from the cops, it does not help the person that was abused. More than likely, it helps the cop because all you're seeing is his point of view versus seeing the whole thing.
Yep. It's amazing.
Right. And if they could just turn it off when they want to, just like the man that lived in Louisiana, and they told the family that he died in a car accident when they beat him to death.
Well, so, look what they said to Ahmaud Arbery's mom.
Yeah. So I mean, really?
Yeah. So basically, the bottom line is we're just so fucking racist in this country that with the cameras, with us knowing, with the police knowing, it's all out in the open, they're still doing it, and they're getting away with it. I'm just trying to summarize there. It's very, very, very. It's unbelievable. It's it's believable, but it's right. And you know what? It was probably even worse, but we didn't have cameras. So, yep. Yeah, absolutely. Dragon Soldier, Dick Gregory, in the South, white folks don't care how close you blacks live to them, as long as you don't get too big. Up north, they don't care how big you get, as long as you don't live too close. Interesting take. Comments or anything? Or very interesting take.
Well, we went to see him at a show, and I think he switched that around. It's white people don't care how big you get down south, as long as you don't get close enough. Up north, they don't care how big or how close you live to them, as long as you don't get too big. Because now I got to take you down. He just flip-flopped it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know that person, but wow, that's something I'd really have to wrap my head around and kind of like think about. not online, yes, but interesting. Thank you for that. Interesting. Mahako, exactly. I didn't know what the big deal was until I dealt with it, not by choice, and why education and all this is very, very important. Because Mahako, for a while, you'll look at his videos. I have them all over the place on my YouTube channel and on Facebook, my Facebook page, and he was, he knew about things here and there, but he didn't really experience much. So he was like, people are kind of making a big deal of it, maybe, a little bit, or, I mean, he's indoctrinated until it happened to him. Not by choice. So, mentoring moments. Hey, from the UK. Thank you so much. I hope you're still here. I don't know what time it is there, but thank you so much for being here. I love it. Do you know what time it is in the UK, Anna? By any chance? Yes? Oh, she's looking it up. Well, I absolutely appreciate having you, even if it's just to drop in, and I'm trying my best to kind of coordinate with people in the UK. I have a lot of Black folks in the UK having a rough time too, and there's a lot of white folks who want to help.
It's 3:05 in the morning.
Uh-oh. Hopefully she's going to get to go to bed soon. But thank you so much for dropping in. That's very, very nice. I'm really touched by that. Let me see. T, you're here. No worries, as long as we have you. Let me see. We'll keep going here. Dragon Soldier. Anna will be the first to tell you we just do not go to white spaces very often. Can you elaborate on that? Can you elaborate?
We don't go to white spaces. So this is what it is. I'm in an interracial relationship, right? So when you're in an interracial relationship, especially down south, the way they voluntarily segregate, you're either going to be in a white space or you're going to be in a Black space, right? When he goes into a Black space with me, people look at him like, what's going on here? But he doesn't feel unsafe. Like they're not going to approach him or do something. Now, me, when we're going to a white space, especially if I got my head wrap on, I have things, white people feel the need to approach me. And it's Ask a Black Woman night. Or we went out one time and I had my head wrap on, and this white guy with his wife sitting there decided to start kissing my head. Like in front of him.
Your head?
Yeah, he was kissing my head. Yeah.
That's
Another white guy, he was like, "Oh, you want to smell my beard?" And then today, remember I was telling you today.
Tell them what happened today.
Yeah, when I'm walking, minding my business, and so I didn't have my head wrap on, but my hair is razor thin. And so I just walked past this gentleman, and he was like, I said, "Excuse me," or something to him, or maybe I didn't even say anything to him. He was like, "Yeah, you should come shopping like that more often." And I was like, "What? Like, where did that come?" Now, Dennis is standing right next to me now.
Your husband,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, he's not. He's a ways, but there's no way you didn't know that we came up this aisle together. And it's just, you know, the fetishizing
That
of
sounds
it.
like fetishizing.
It's
Yeah.
fetishizing. It has nothing to do with women do it too. Like they'll just walk up to me and be like, "Oh my God, you look so colorful, so fun." Like I'm not a Barbie doll, you know that, right? Like
Fun.
I'm not, or we're so happy you're here. Like we went to a protest one time. Remember I told you about that? And it was like, oh my God, now we're a real protest. Like, what?
The black people are here.
Yeah, one black person.
One
Just
doesn't
one.
represent everybody.
Me. It was just me.
So we white folks tend to act really freaky around when people are not used to being around black people. We really kind of flip shit. I can kind of relate to a little bit of what you're saying. Is when I worked in Compton, I was one of the only white people continuously, and I did not fear for anything. And I was in freaking Compton, California, boasted #1 murder rate of small towns at the time in the country, and I never felt unsafe except during the riots. That's a whole other story. Don't even go there. That when I noticed nobody was around at all except for the gang members. That was it. Everyone had left their porches. I was like, catch a hint. Okay, that wasn't good. But I never normally felt unsafe at all. I felt, and I was oftentimes the only white person in the room, giant rooms. So it's a different dynamic, totally different dynamic. I did not feel unsafe, whereas I would absolutely feel if my child, my brown child went into an all white area, it scares me. Just be honest. Just being real.
I mean, every day my kids go to school and I got to give them the briefing. Like, don't let anybody touch your hair. You're not a pet. You're not the black delegation and you're not one of the good ones. You're not the good Negro. Let them know that right off the bat. That's not who you are, and that's not who you're ever going to be. And so you have to arm them with that when they should be just going to school. But you can't do that. And I told you 3 weeks in, they was already with the Africa jokes, and my children have never even been to Africa.
On the bus in the
yeah. And then there's other times where it's like the mosquito bites. It's like every now and then, like, are you from West Africa? I'm descended from West Africa, but I am not. I'm black. I'm a Black American. Or the simple fact, can you speak English? Or where are you really from? I told you I was from Brooklyn.
It's obnoxious and it's got to be exhausting. I cannot imagine. Let me just go down. Let me see. I'm happy. I'm not sure where you were referring to, but you said no, just boycott like they did in the 60s. Oh, let me see. Ufurby or Ufurby still don't know what twerking is. Well, that's what we have the internet for. Look it up, honey.
No, the person was responding to what I said. Okay. That everybody was asking when I was overseas. They was like, "Can you twerk?" Like, right, no.
It's when you move your butt tushy in and out like that, like I don't know, it's kind of a sexual motion, if you will. It's like a way you dance, kind of, or I don't know.
Well, in Africa, it comes from a certain dance of fertility and certain things. And even out of Africa in the Middle East, they have movements like that. But the thing about it is, like I said, here it's been over sexualized, but it's not even about twerking. I was asked how many videos was I in, and I'm looking at these people like, if you looked at the women in these videos and then you looked at me, you would know that I am not one of them. You know what I mean? Not saying anything. I'm just saying the body shape. Like, I don't have.
Right. They're trying to say like you're all the same person, kind of. You're all, it's crazy. It's been kind of pushed on them from media. They just don't get it. That no, there's thousands and thousands of us. We're all individuals. We don't all know each other. It's like, damn. But yeah, I gotcha. The ignorance is off the charts to the people you describe, Anna. That's from Mahako. And T says, yeah, they have this preconceived image of us because of the way we're presented. Yeah, definitely. It's really crazy. Dragon Soldier, in Israel, every Black American woman is Janet Jackson. Oh God. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. It's like, here's an example. Somebody, I'm not going to say who, somebody in my distant family was at a Chinese restaurant with me. It was a very, very classic Chinese restaurant in LA. And the owners were Chinese and all the waiters were Chinese. And this person had the waiter come up to him and said, hola. That's hello in Spanish. It's like, oh my God. It's like, just kill me now. Just do it. It's no. It's just like crazy. Anyway, thought you might get a kick out of that crazy thing. Rude is a huge understatement. Yeah. And it is a huge understatement. And when I read the book, what they were trying to do in that book that I said, she called it rude. This was written by a Black woman. She was trying to, actually, I really don't know. It was very, very long time ago. Okay, it was like 20 years ago almost that I read this book. And I read things, I get what I get out of it, you know? And she said that, I'm not sure if she was trying to make the person comfortable, the white person comfortable, or the Black person comfortable, or everybody comfortable by not actually addressing what it really is. But it was kind of interesting. It was one of my first introductions about 20 years ago, actually reading literature on racism. And I took a few good things out of it, but I definitely they don't want you to, and it was given to me as a white parent adopting a child who is brown. They don't want us to jade our children. So it's a fine line and a fine balance. And that's kind of what I got out of it, that they're trying to not, somebody like me, I mean, I'm jaded as hell. No, I don't want it. My child doesn't have to be jaded like I am at this, at her young age. It's not okay. So it's a fine balance, So anyway, that's what that was about. But yes, it is a huge understatement.
You know what I was going to say to you? Okay. So the way I look at it like this, right? So when we're talking about that, she was trying to put it down to the lowest common denominator, a convergence of interests. That's what it is. Everybody can understand that. So this is my thing, right? Between that, there's a line. So for me, right? I see this all the time. White people don't say excuse me to one another. And for me, it's like they'll squeeze around you. They'll just stay there and wait versus just saying excuse me. So I'm like, that's just rude. Mm-hmm. Or you can take it as you don't feel like I'm good enough for you to say excuse me. Or the simple fact of the matter is that I was watching something and the person said most white people do not see non-white people as people. They see us as objects. And that is why they take up space. Like say you'll be on a street, on a sidewalk and just take over the whole sidewalk. And it's like when somebody says, excuse me, can you move? It's like you're affronted by that.
Oh, absolutely. Because what? Right. Good point.
Or if a Black person is standing there, they don't see you as a person. They just see you as an object. You're an object in my way. I just need you to get out my way. And so that's what I was saying between rudeness and racism, where sometimes it could just be you're rude POS. And sometimes it's racism.
It's very fine line, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. And I've never thought about it before, but like personally, I see this with menial jobs. Like even if the person's white or brown or tan or Black, we're walk right by them like they don't exist. It's like in the hotel and and they're almost surprised when you say hi to them. They're like, oh, what? Do you want something? No, I just want to say hi. It's like, it's what we do. And so I do get what you're saying about invisible. Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. And again, that's the same thing we keep talking about is you just don't know, and it's gotta be, I don't know, for me, that's certain insecurity comes with not knowing, like, what are they trying to say? Like, it's just kind of up in the air. So anyway, let me see. It's called classism. Absolutely. Bobby, I've been married to a white woman for 17 years and we haven't killed each other yet and don't agree on Civil War and Black Panthers. Very good. And there's no monolith among any group. You could be surprised. That's good to know. Hako, yep, he just gave us a reminder that they still have some white people here that still hate Black people. That's from Hako. T says they're being taught, some white people, I'm assuming that's what she's referring to, are being taught that whiteness somehow makes you better. She was referring to the dragon soldier. So let me just see here. Furby 75, racism has been reintroduced, my theory. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Son of Yah, even in the words we use, the word Black stands for mostly negative things. Absolutely. And we actually talk about that extensively in this show before. We have. We sure have. T, same thing, just always being represented in different forms. They know because it's their strategy. Interesting. I think us pretending that they don't know is some type of PTSD coping mechanism. Absolutely. I'm sure it's got to be. White people love to pretend. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, son of Yah, social programming. Mahako says Indoctri-Nation. Mahako, why do you think they do not want to allow CRT to be taught in schools? They don't want our real racial history taught in schools. They don't want the truth. We have this denial thing going on. Oh my God. So crazy. Mahako, Texas passed a law stating lessons must be taught with many perspectives of history instead of one. Goes to show you they will do anything to keep us all fighting the systemic racism. And yeah, I mean, there's not two sides to my fellow humans, civil and human rights. Sorry, there just isn't. No, and no. There aren't two sides. It's not a debate. It's called you're a jackass or you're not. It's not. No.
If we're talking about pizza, I like pineapple on my pizza. You know what? That's blasphemy.
I love it.
We're not talking about pineapples on pizza. We're talking about whether you feel like you can kill this person or you should get paid more money, not because on your skills, not because on your education, simply because you look a different way or you don't have a vagina. Come on, give me a break. No, everybody's opinion does not matter. And I am so tired of us we think that everybody's opinion matters. It doesn't, especially when you feel like you should be able to lynch people or kill people indiscriminately.
Another way to put it is that all people's opinions are not weighted equally. And that's something we've really gotten into because everyone's got an opinion. But I'm sorry, I'm looking for the educated opinion, the scientific opinion, the historically backed opinion. I don't need what you think, because what you think is oftentimes based on absolute fabrication and lies. So, I mean, it's not all, I think there was a time, and I don't remember it very well, but when experts actually had some status. Like I always say, God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. This is so embarrassing. You're going to the moon. I'm going to do it again. You're going to the moon. Your first trip to the moon. I'm sorry. I'm not taking the advice from my friend who loved the movie Apollo 13. Okay. I'm taking the advice about this trip I'm going to be taking from somebody who has been to the moon 5 times, who is a PhD in the area. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm glad that you like the movie, but you're not the world's foremost expert. People just, oh my goodness. here, let's go on because I really want to get to our main stuff tonight. Let me see. Some white people smile in your face, acting friendly in public, but let you know, but let you move in a house next to them. Their true colors will come out. Oh, hell yes. They say, oh, I love black people. What about your daughter marrying black men? Oh my God. Suddenly that's just, we are so full of it. We are so out of touch with the truth for the most part, but that's what I'm here for, to help people get in touch with the truth. Let me see. It's normal. I'm just going to keep going here. Tolanda, people used to fetishize my skin and my hair at my old job. Oh, that's creepy. That's really creepy. I know my little one, I told this story before at kindergarten. I asked her, do people ever try to touch your hair? And she goes, yeah. First experience in public school. I go, how often? Every day? She goes, yeah. Yeah, she's 5. I go, 2 times a day? She goes, probably around 7. Like, doing. Yeah, like I went and talked to the administration, and she goes, and the teachers too. I'm like, okay, I'm not a real good fake, but I was like exploding. Like, that's nice. My child is there to learn, not to be petted by your little. It's just not good. But anyway, Dragon Soldier, like we're sitting at the bar, and the dude just came up and grabbed her head and kissed her head, and his drunk wife came up and said, "Is Dragon Soldier your husband?" Is that? Okay, I'm catching on here.
Yeah.
I'm catching on here. Hi, Dennis. Drunk wife came up and said, "Oh, don't worry. He's just being friendly." It's like, don't worry. Keep your freaking hand. You don't get to pet me. You don't get to touch me. That's no. I mean, that's pretty presumptuous. Damn. That's pretty bad. A supervisor said, "Oh, they have them. They. I'm flattered, but it's skin, for God's sakes." Yeah. It's like, they have the most beautiful skin. Who's they? That's a weird way to put it. Yeah. Because you're all alike, It's like, no, I've seen black people with really bad skin. Sorry. That's just ridiculous. Okay. Interesting. Oh, so many comments. If you see anything you want to jump in on and answer. Oh my gosh, everyone, I really appreciate the great comments. We need to move on really quickly to Colin Powell and his legacy. I got a word for you, and I hope I still have it up here somewhere. And it is
hagiography.
Let's all say it together.
Hagiography. Hagiography.
Hagiography is my new word of the day. It's a word used to describe, we need a word of the day, right? To describe someone's biography or legacy. But nowadays, it is describing a legacy that we treat an ordinary human as if they were a saint. Okay, and this is very easy to do because they've died and we feel bad, and I get that. So I want to do a quick summary of Colin Powell's life, and then I want to hear what you think. Now, I, lucky for me, do not know enough about him to have an opinion. Yes, I am sharing my ignorance. When I'm ignorant about something, I don't have an opinion. It's something I pride myself in, because you see, not all opinions are created equal, and I don't know shit about them. Okay, I might know more than you do, but I still don't know shit about them. I don't mean you, and I mean proverbial you. I really need to know more to make an opinion. So let me do a quick summary of what I have read, and we will go from there. Colin Powell's career took him from the combat in Vietnam to becoming the first Black national security advisor during the end of the Reagan presidency, and the youngest first African-American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under President George H.W. Bush. His national popularity soared in the aftermath of the U.S.-led coalition victory during the Gulf War, and for a little bit in the time in the 90s. But his reputation was forever stained when, as George W. Bush's first Secretary of State, he pushed faulty intelligence. And I think most of us know this, before the United Nations to advocate for the Iraq War, which would Which, we triggered somebody. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hey, this is Bobby again.
Hi, Bobby. I knew that would get you.
Hey. You're talking about Colin Powell, right?
Yes.
Okay, I started with Colin Powell in Desert Storm, Rocket Freedom, Soccer and all.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I mean, for the person, he's all right, he's good. But we knew he was lying a long time ago.
Say it once more, Bobby. I didn't quite hear you. We what?
So we knew he was lying a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Before it got started a long time ago. I mean,
No, was he
on the
lying?
inside.
Was he lying, or did he not know? That's the big...
No, he was lying. He knew. If I'm enlisted, if I know good and well they know. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right, that would make sense.
Okay, right. Okay. I mean, I'm an acting sergeant major. Okay, during this time, so you know good and well I do. Okay. And I'm not going down the man. I'm saying I hope he rests in peace over 9 yards. Right?
Well, you're a nice person.
But I'm not going down. I'm not going down him like the media is doing him right now. I fully understand.
Anna is. Sorry.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it. But I do know, I will say this right here, I say this second, that I knew he was lying because I knew, like, in Rocket Freedom, Shocking and everything else, I ran country, I was a part of that. I knew he was lying about that, right? Because I was part of that, you know. But
Bobby,
I'm laying low.
Can I ask?
I'm retired, right?
Can I ask you a quick question? I'm sorry, my interest has been piqued. So people fighting knew at the time that it was faulty information, and they had to keep fighting.
You got to follow orders.
I know, but like, oh my God.
You got to follow orders.
That's got to screw with your head like nothing I've ever. Anna's like exploding over there.
I mean, what you gonna do about it? I mean, like we went to get Noriega, right? We know damn well it was about money and everything else, right? We know that. But who am I to say anything about this right here? I got no power, you know. Or what the Bosnia, everything else, right? I knew it was about bullshit, but what am I to say about it? Just follow the orders to get out, you know, get your money for college, whatever. Get your bonus, get the hell out of there. But the most I've done, the highest rank I have obtained was a sergeant major. But it was an acting sergeant major. That was shock and awe. But I had to get up out of there. I had to go. I can't do this for y'all no more. I can't do this. You know.
No.
That's why I got out and I moved to Hawaii and just laid low. Until now. But just, I mean, I got so much information. I know they will kill me. But it's so deep. It's deep as hell.
Say that again. Did you just say, I know they will kill me? What did you mean?
What I just said? What I just said?
They being the government, or
your government, your government, not my government, your government. I was here before them. Okay, Columbus saw me when he got here. Your government.
Well, because you're getting information that because they don't want people to talk about this kind of thing, or
no, they don't want you. I mean, you don't want to. I mean, you got some stuff here. You might talk about it. You can do something about it, right? You're gonna mess you up, you know. But like I said, I was married to the enemy for 17 years. I said, how you know about me? And I don't know about me. No, people don't know about them, right? Hey, I had a thing right here. Anna, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
are you there?
Anna.
She can hear you.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yes.
Anna, what's your nationality?
I'm American. That's my nationality.
I can't hear that.
She says she's American. That's her nationality.
What's on your birth certificate?
What's on your birth certificate?
I would have to look at it.
Probably whatever state you were born in or whatever, right? What do you, Bobby? What are you getting at? Can you make your point? What are you trying to tell?
Yeah,
say?
because we were like in 1938, right? Our nationality was changed by force. You can't call yourself this, what you actually are anymore. So long. It's on the books. Federal. The Attorney State. You can't say what you actually are, what God called you. Whether you believe in God or whatever, or Buddha or whatever you believe in, you cannot call yourself this. You have to call yourself what we call you. So, what's wrong with that?
Are you following him, Anna? Not really. Yeah, we're kind of losing what you're trying to say. We're getting confused. What are you trying to say, Bobby?
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. We'll go back to 5. I knew it was gonna come in this. All right. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. That's
I
okay.
mentioned earlier that first of all, we need to know exactly who and what we are, right? Because what your name is who and what you are. Your actual God-given name is what you are. Okay.
Are you talking about are you talking about people being
black and white,
native to the Americas and not saying they are?
Okay, it's in line with racism and everything else, right? Okay, now we can be treated any kind of way we want to. Say a black person, right? Okay, black, African American, whatever. Okay, those are titles.
Right.
Okay,
right.
A title has no standing in law whatsoever.
Right.
When Tom Jones told Obama, say, how do you feel being the first black president? He said, first of all, black has no standing in law. That's a title.
Right. Okay, I got you.
You're talking about the Constitution. Okay, you are title. If you call black, Indian, Native American, that's a title. You have no standing in law. You have to call yourself identify yourself as what you really are, what God called you.
Well, white's like made up. This is all made up to separate. Is that what you're saying?
All made up.
Yeah.
All made up.
Yeah.
It's written in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Now, at the opening statement, it's made up right there. It shows you right there. When we get to critical race theory and stuff like that, right? We're going to talk about that. All right, because you're going to say, make this person think this and that. Okay, but how do I feel as a black person, so-called black person? You call me black, but you don't teach about what George Washington said and Wilbur said about civil rights said and stuff like that. I mean, about what the Civil War said. Okay, you made that up. That's your side of the story. I understand that. I taught history for years, and we fought every day at that school. I've been to several schools. We fought every day. So that's not what this is.
What do you want to be called, Bobby?
What God called me? My name is not Bobby. Okay, I accept that. My grandmother, she accepted that because she fell for the okey doke. She had to do this because we were Freemasons as we grew up, so they were part of the program. But we started out as when the college called it Aborigines, right? We were copper-colored people. When they called us Native Americans after a little while, which we're not, we are natives here. Because if you read their records and their ship logs, They saw people here, already here, they call them copper colored. Right? Hebrew Israelites.
All right. Well, I'm going to think about what you're saying. I think I'm kind of understanding a little bit of what you're saying. We're going to kind of go back to the topic because we have a ton left to do. But you're right. It is made up, and it's I think a lot of us realize it's a made up construct. It's something I teach the beginners immediately. That it's a made up construct. It's important to learn that.
Okay, you're not white. Okay. That came in like the 1840s. That came in the 1840s.
Right,
because
right.
they were called white.
Well, we trust me. We know that we talked about the new white people that came over here. Trust me.
Can I come? I need to conversate with her just for a second.
Her being Anna or Kim?
Anna. I
Okay.
need to conversate with Anna just for
Okay,
a second.
sure. And then we're going to move on to the next topic, if you don't mind, because we got a ton to talk about. He wants to talk to you, Anna.
No.
I can hear.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Can I get feedback as I talk to her?
She can hear you, Bobby. She can hear you.
Anna.
Yes.
I love you, sister.
I love you too.
I'm not getting any feedback. That's a problem.
I don't think it's a problem.
Listen to me. I can't get any feedback.
She said, I love you too.
Okay. Do that then. Do that part.
Okay.
And we've been through a lot of the same things, okay? In our life. Can't say, can't say,
I can't hear him. I'm losing you, my friend.
Can't say,
Say, uh-huh.
Yeah. So, Anna, we've been through a lot of the same things, okay?
Yeah. I bet you guys have.
You're supposed to say,
Uh-huh.
Okay, what you say, okay.
I'm saying but I'm not speaking for her. But all right, let's wrap it up. And Bobby, I will talk to you. Do you want to make a last point?
Yeah. No, that's it, right? That's it right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
It's not moving right now. Okay, that's fine.
We
Okay,
love
it's
you,
not moving.
Bobby. You're wonderful.
All right. You are too.
Thank you.
All right.
Talk soon, my friend.
All right.
All right.
So Kim, just some of the stuff that he was talking about. We know, first of all, these new white people that are here, such as the ones that came over Ellis Island and all that hagiography that they talk about those trips, they weren't white either. We all know that. They assimilated into this country's racism. We know that, right? I know that. I know when there was no black and there was no white. There was no white until they needed a black person. There was no N-word until they needed an N-word. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I know that. And I know the reason why they're doing certain things to us and to other non-white minorities. And it's about capitalism and it's about commodity. And I have to dehumanize you in order for me to be able to do things and everybody else to buy into it so I can do those things. But we can talk about Colin Powell because I'm going to talk about him.
Yeah, definitely. So let me finish up the quick wrap up, and then we'll go from there because we got to get to our main topic. And our main topic is not Colin Powell, and this is really important. So I'd like to think that Colin Powell acted otherwise and unconsciously didn't know, but the truth is people who were actually in the military are saying, oh, yes, he did. I think my standards for the GOP overall have basically like gotten so low. I personally believe there's no longer any, if even any classic Republicans left who actually take their oath of the Constitution seriously by choosing the nation over party and by choosing America above their own personal profit and by choosing integrity and honesty over lies and deception. I don't know if there are any left. It's gone. They've gone mad. They are still following Trump, who is not even the freaking president. The current party of Trump, despite him not even being in office, is something from a nightmare novel that shows how one man and his brainwashed followers can be persuaded to follow in Hitler's footsteps. And for all practical purposes, they've clinched the title of the Party of Hatred and Humanity. I'll leave Colin Powell's legacy to those who are much more knowledgeable on the subject than I am. But I will add that this is what is being said, and I have a couple little things to show you, and then I want to hear Anna. Colin, I will add that later in life, he was the first to support Obama's presidency, and he stood up where so few people have and had and said Trump's a liar, and that after January 6th, he can no longer call himself a Republican. I simply just wanted this to be an honest mention of, it's so hard to think of people in gray areas. We want to think they're evil or they're angelic, and most people really aren't. And so, Anna, while you are telling us what you think, which I can't wait to hear, I am going to switch us over to, you can still talk, I believe. I want to show, this is what's going around on two things that have been going around on social media, just really quickly. Let me see. It will take 2 seconds. This is not very long. Boom. Oh, we have this. Colin Powell didn't die. People are using it. That's just, I just wanted to put that up there. He didn't die because he was vaccinated. He died because someone else wasn't. I think it's really important because I know the GOP is, the far rights are trying to use this and twist the science. That being said, I will show you something that should trigger anybody who knows him and knows of him. And this is what's also been going around. So let me just show you this. It says many Republicans will say poignant words about Colin Powell today. As a reminder, Powell called Trump a liar who skirted the Constitution and said he no longer called himself Republican because of January 6th. Honor him by standing for the truth and supporting the January 6th committee. So that has a little bit of an agenda in there. And now I'm ready to hear what you have to say, Anna.
Well, I am not Ask the Army person. I am just the way I feel about it.
You don't stand for the Army?
Right. I don't stand for the Army. I'm not speaking for the Army. This is my opinion and my opinion alone. Nobody else in my house is representing the military. This is me and my... Gotcha. First of all, I don't negotiate with terrorists. The fact of the matter is that let's look at Hitler. Would we be saying the same thing about Hitler? Well, he did a couple of bad things, but come on. That's the first thing. Look at anybody in history that's done. Genghis Khan. Well, he, basically raped everybody on the Asian continent and the Indian continent. But, come on, I don't negotiate with terrorists. First of all, let's be clear about certain things. Poor people fight America's wars. How many rich people are sending their kids over to Iraq and Afghanistan and Vietnam and Grenada and Panama and all these other countries and Central America?
Zero.
and
Especially
coming
brothers.
back broken physically, emotionally, and mentally. They've constructed this society with capitalism and racism to the point where you're joining the military out of desperation.
Yep.
I can
Absolutely.
get free health care. I know I get 3 hots in a cot. You're either gonna go to war. It's a cadence. Go to war or go to jail. So the simple fact of the matter is that he went and joined the military and he did accomplish certain things. But what is at the core? He was furthering white male patriarchy, white supremacy, and American imperialism. You knew about the things that was going on during the Malay massacre, during Vietnam. He said he worked for Ronald Reagan. You mean the same Ronald Reagan that announced his candidacy in Philadelphia, Mississippi, where the three civil rights workers was murdered, and then they found 2 other bodies of other 2 dead black men? You mean that Ronald Reagan? The Ronald Reagan that hated the Black Panthers? You mean that one that worked with George Bush and Hoover? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I hear you right now. They're saying a reality check saying he was a war criminal.
He was a war criminal. Then the simple fact of the matter is that what went on in Panama and Central America, all these things don't happen in a vacuum. They're still finding bodies of massacres that went on during the Iran-Contra scandals. And the simple fact, not only did they tear about South America, Central America, those drugs were brought into the Black community. For the crack epidemic, who else helped with that? George Bush Sr., the Clintons, and George Bush Jr. So there's a legacy of being war criminals. Dick Cheney was a war criminal. What's the guy that had the mustache that worked for Trump just recently? You know who I'm talking about. He had a really big mustache. I forget what his name is.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Condoleezza Rice, all of these people that knew Saddam, and I'm not taking up for Saddam Hussein. I'm not taking up for anybody. What I'm saying is I'm not taking up for Gaddafi. But Bolton, John Bolton, all of them work together. And the reason why we have these people coming over here now and risking their lives, risking their kids' lives, is because of the things that he did.
Destabilizing their country.
Right. Mass incarceration is because of the things that he helped do. And the thing about it is, okay, he's dead. So is Rush Limbaugh. I'm not going to say anything good about Rush Limbaugh, because look at the millions and the thousands of millions of soldiers and their families that was affected by a lie. My uncle, I wasn't in the army during the first Gulf War, but my uncle was on the first thing smoking out there. Do you know how many people right now to this day still have diseases from the first Iraqi war that got kicked out because they said they had a personality disorder? I can really give 2 craps about talking badly about this person. And the funny thing about it is, this is the funny thing about it. They still talking about how George Floyd was a drug addict. They still talking about how Ahmaud Arbery had mental problems and all this. They still talking about Breonna, and they were victims. And let's get back to they were victims. They still talking about Trayvon Martin. We had a 4-month-old baby that was shot by the cops May 3rd in Mississippi. Somehow, some way, that baby caused death. The baby did. So you're telling me a person that was active in getting people murdered or took a blind eye to it, I'm not going to say, and let's be clear about certain things. Okay, he was fully vaccinated, but he was still 84 years old. He was an elderly man, and he had a compromised immune system because of cancer.
Right. He
I
had
don't know
all the,
if he still had it or he was dealing with it, but the simple fact of the matter is he died of complications from COVID.
Mhm.
But the simple fact of the matter is, I refuse to live in the United States of amnesia. I'm not going to do it, especially knowing that I have 5 generations of my family that have been sent over to countries to supposedly fight for freedom, liberty, and we don't get it when we get back.
Absolutely.
And the fact of the matter is, just because he's black, what does that mean?
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing. So that's all I have to say about it.
Knew you'd make great points. And of course, like we were talking about earlier, Black people are always killed twice, always. And it's disgusting, it's unconscionable, and it is who we are in America. That's what white supremacists do. We take the victim and we twist it around in our ugly, ugly way and put them on trial and kill them twice. We kill them first physically, and then we kill their spirit by making it ugly. And it's disgusting. I expect nothing less of this country. And that is why the word of the day is
hagiography. Hagiography.
okay. That's why I brought it up, because it's what we do. We like to live in a fantasy land. We like to live in a fantasy land, and we like to just make nice.
I'm not. Somebody said he got all the blame for the war. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, he was culpable. He sat up for 76 minutes talking about the things that Saddam Hussein had. You understand what I'm saying? You got millions of Americans hurt or murdered or families broken up, bodies broken up, PTSD, all kinds of things right now. The suicide rate in the military, every 22 seconds a soldier kills him or herself. So I am not going to sit here and say I'm going to blame him for everything, but he had a part in it.
Absolutely. You're being real, and that's what I appreciate. That's why you make the big bucks, Anna, and come on the show. I'm just playing. Yeah, I expected nothing less from you, and I appreciate it. You know, I really do. T says it's obvious how Black people are hated in this country. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hang on. Let me turn this down. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Hi.
Okay. Can you guess who this is? No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Hi. Hi. Wow.
This is Neil.
Hi. Yes. Hi. Oh my God. Neil. Wow. I'm so excited to hear your voice. I knew if you can't, I thought maybe it was you, but I wasn't sure. Oh my gosh.
Well, you know what? I was surprised and very pleased to see that you're not only on YouTube, but you're on Facebook. You've got a great setup, and I like it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say something because Anastasia made a great point. And that is, when you look at the elite, okay, and I'm referring to Colin Powell was part of the elite. But you got to remember, it was the Republicans that wanted him to run for president. Okay, I have, I kind of got on your show late, so I didn't get to hear, a lot of everything, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
But the thing I want to say is this: today, now this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree, of course. But today, when you have the Democrat Party and the Republican Party,
that are running the country, and it doesn't matter whether it's Joe Biden, Obama, Trump, Bush, or whoever.
Sorry.
They have become one party. They have become one party. They don't represent the people anymore.
Nope.
They represent the elite.
The elite. 100% agree with you.
They do. It's about power and money. And I have to tell you, I am disgusted with it. I have watched it, I've heard it, I've seen it, and I watch all the news channels today so I can get a good idea of what's going on, from different channels. And it's almost like they've all got a script. And I don't care if it's Fox, I don't care if it's CNN, I don't care if it's MSNBC, I don't care if it's NBC, ABC, or CBS, or whoever it is. The point I'm getting at is like they have the same script. It's like we have a media that is, it's not like what you have, Kim and Deja. It's not like your voices. It is the voice of the
wealthiest elites and corporations.
I almost want to call it the Communist China Party, but the media has turned on the people. And if you think about what I'm trying to say, the media has taken the elite and put them on top, and then they have taken the average person, the people that have to buy gasoline, the people that have to go into the grocery stores, the people that have to go into clothing stores, feed their children, send them to school, or whatever the case might be. These people are the ones that are suffering.
Yep.
And are going to continue to suffer.
And Neil, it's because the elites own the media. That's part of it. So
yes, look, and Colin Powell, he might have, everybody might have liked him. Those that but he was a part of the elite. He was not any more of a hero than George Bush was. He was not any more of a hero than Bill Clinton was. He's not any more of a hero than anybody was. He was a general, and then he became Colonel Powell, and he was just. Yes, you've got it, Andrew. I'm watching you. It's a very upsetting thing. Now, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I'm sure you have other callers that are wanting to get in on your conversation, and I know you want to have things to say, but I'm going to tell you, if things don't change in the United States of America, and I'm talking about, I have taken a part-time job, Kim, just because I want to get out of the house. But everybody that I work for, the office that I work in, everybody is of color. They're all black, and except for one Hispanic. I want to tell you, they treat me like I am their son. They are regular, everyday people. They treat me like I am
family. Sounds like
I am their brother. And that's the way it's got to be in this country. Because if it's not, this country doesn't have. And now you can disagree.
I agree with you.
If things don't, what I'm going to say is, if things don't change, this country doesn't stand a year. It doesn't stand a year.
We're in the twilight of our democracy. We are. Yep. We're in the twilight of my democracy.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
We're in the twilight of our democracy.
That's exactly right. America is going downhill like a snowball in June.
Yep.
I mean, it's really going down fast. We're melting.
Yep. There's no for the people, of the people, by the people. It's by the elite, the wealthiest elites. Yep. Excellent points.
Well, listen, I didn't mean to interrupt your show, but
not at all.
I have to tell you
that you called.
I'm so glad that both of you are on right now. I've enjoyed what I have been able to see, and Kim, congratulations. I love your setup. I love everything you're doing. And you don't remember me, but when you used to be just on YouTube, I would see your posts. You would either agree with me or disagree with me. It doesn't matter. But it was great to see you. It's great to see both of you.
Thank you, Neil.
Kim,
I miss you. You're wonderful. Thank you.
Keep it up.
What a great
Keep it
surprise.
up, okay?
What a great
Both
surprise.
of you, keep it up.
Thank you.
You have a great night, ladies.
All right.
Have a great
Thanks,
night, ladies.
Neil. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye.
No?
Neil, I didn't mean to hang up there. Click. Neil ran a nationally syndicated talk radio show for many, many years. And he's been a good friend of mine for a really long time. And we just kind of fell out of touch for a while. So that was pretty exciting. I want to be so incredibly rude and making a decision to move on to the inside scoop about Ahmaud Arbery. Does that sound okay? And obviously, if you want to jump in, you absolutely can say anything you want before that. But I want to get going on that. Does that sound?
I mean, go ahead, because like I said, you usually let me let my commentary afterwards. All I wanted to say to Neil was I totally agree. And what he said was completely right. Only thing I'm gonna push back is on this country has always been a third world country for us and for poor people. So this didn't just start. And we are watching, this country has been going downhill for the longest time. And again, James Baldwin said, the American dream is going to depend on how you treat the least of your citizens. So we know how that's going.
Yeah, we have all these morals and values, and we really, at this point, and I don't want to get into it because I really do want to talk about Ahmaud Arbery's murder trial, but the bottom line is simply there are scores of issues that an overwhelming amount of Americans, up into the 80s want, and we don't have them. This is not our country anymore, and if it ever was for any of us. So the bottom line is we're in the twilight of our democracy, and we're divided, and the wealthiest elites thank us for our service. That's what we're doing. White folks are doing it. And I do not blame people who are in numerical, historically marginalized groups. I blame the white people. Sorry, just being honest. Okay, we have the power and we have the ability, and we clearly have a white person problem in this country. That's all I'll say. Even healthcare, right? Even healthcare is a political issue. I mean, it's just, we really having issues. Ahmaud Arbery. Okay, I'm going to just get everybody really, really quickly zoop through some stuff that's going on. There's a lot of stuff. If you haven't read a ton about this, you will be surprised. So I wanted to, as most of us know, Ahmaud Arbery, his murder trial started Monday with the jury selection. And personally, I believe this case represents the imperfect microcosm of American society in general. Says it all. It's bursting with extreme police corruption, community-wide cover-ups, lack of transparency, racism beyond human comprehension. It reeks of police going about their cruel business with total impunity, with everyone around them covering up for them too. The fact is, we probably would not be talking about this trial tonight if the community had anything to say about it. It took 74 days from the murder until a video was released publicly for them to make an actual, even blink an eye. This was being swept away under the, whatever proverbial rug, whatever you want to call it, to even make an arrest. Personally, I believe that the murderers would be free men right now if it hadn't been for Ahmaud's mother making further inquiries and this video. Soon after, and this is a quick review. Soon after Mr. Arbery's murder, Lee Merritt, a lawyer representing the Arbery family, called for a federal civil rights investigation, focusing not just on the men who did this, pursued him and hunted him down, but the broader justice system. This was a cover-up. Lee Merritt went on to say it's small town America. Those counties, the law enforcement communities there, they know each other well. They recycle officers in between them. It's a very tight-knit community. You could say that again. Think of how many hundreds, maybe thousands of people who knew what was going on. 74 days. It's a black man. They murdered him. Over the years, the Glenn County police officers have been accused of covering up allegations of misconduct, tampering with crime scenes, interfering with an investigation of police shootings, retaliating against fellow officers who cooperate in outside investigations. Additionally, the police chief at the time was indicted just days after Mr. Arbery was killed on charges related to some cover-up about an officer's sexual relationship with an informant. I mean, corruption on steroids here. This is the poster child of corruption. Chief John Powell has since been, and I don't know if he's still doing this, but been hired to clean up the department, which the Glenn County manager described last fall as a suffering from poor training, outdated policies, and a culture of cronyism. I think that's putting it nicely. I say they are corrupt as fuck. Okay, that's just my take. The Glenn County forces were the sort of department where disciplinary records went missing, and the evidence room wasn't maintained, leading the state to actually strip it of its accreditation. Like many Southern communities, its history is studded with racial violence, including 3 late 19th century lynchings. Last month, the former Brunswick District Attorney Jackie Johnson was indicted, and I think there should be many, 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 many more to come if what's going on here, if I'm correct about what's going on here, from what I've read. She was arrested in relationship to the investigation of the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery in February. This happened in February 2020. Arrests in Arbery's death came months after, but only after there was public outcry and this video surfaced. So here's what's happened. And I want to show you a video, and I want to know what you think. Jump in anytime you want to. Anna, I got a ton of stuff. So here's what's happening. Ahmaud Arbery was jogging on the Satilla Shores neighborhood when he was shot and killed. Let's put it simply. 3 men, Greg and Travis McMichaels, and another person, William Bryant, was basically hunted down this man in an attempt to trap him and allegedly arrest him. Yeah, right, liar. This was the closest thing to a real live lynching in our modern day I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I'm not looking for them, but they hunted this kid. This, to me, he's 25. He's still, he's a child, basically, to me. A young man with his entire life ahead of him, and they murdered him like a trapped animal. And a grand jury indicted the father and son, Greg and Travis McMichaels, and this William Ryan on 9 charges in Arbery's death, including malice murder, which I don't know a lot about. I did not look that up. Also, the guy that was taping it. At a preliminary trial hearing, a judge determined that there was enough evidence to take all 3 men in for murder. It also emerged that Travis McMichaels used a racial epithet and some expletives directed at Mr. Arbery as he lay on the ground, dying. And they did nothing, by the way. And I wanted to point out that, again, Ahmaud was still alive after the shooting. And everyone pretty much ignored him and kind of was freaking out about what they were going to do. It was disgusting. It was an execution in my mind. And the following video will explain the extent to which this county was allowed to remain a corrupt freaking free-for-all with multiple officials complicit, negligent, call it what you will. I believe there were probably thousands of people who knew all about this. So do you want to say something now, or do you want to see this video? Because it is going to be video. I just want to give a quick overview because it's been a year. It's been a year. This video is pretty much, let me just see if I can. I didn't even know some of this stuff, and I have been really, really, really into this. So let's get this going. If I can. Oh my goodness. 2 seconds. Okay, there we are. Boom, boom, boom. Oopsie. Kimmy. Let's try that again. One more try. Boom. I almost got it. There we go. Okay.
Thank you, Maggie. Tomorrow, for the first time, we expect to hear from attorneys representing Gregory McMichael, one of the two men charged in the death of Ahmaud Arbery.
And as we told you earlier this hour, we heard from attorneys representing McMichael's son, Travis McMichael, today. They asked people to reserve judgment in the case until all facts are presented in court. Police reports state that Travis McMichael and his father drove down the street looking for a man they saw running down the road in their neighborhood. The report states the two saw Arbery and shouted at him to stop running. Then Travis McMichael got out of the truck with his firearm, video showing the two struggle over the gun. And then after this, you can hear 3 gunshots and then see Arbery fall to the ground.
News4Jax has also learned the Justice Department now has another request to investigate the Blaine County Police Department and the Brunswick DA. As we reported yesterday, U.S. Senator Kamala Harris, a former district attorney herself, wrote this formal letter to Attorney General William Barr. It says the federal government needs to independently investigate if the handling of Mr. Arbery's case also fits within a disturbing pattern of misconduct in the Blaine County justice system. Georgia's Attorney General also made the request to the Justice Department.
And News4Jax I-Team investigator Lindsay Gardner digs into the other controversial cases now coming under the microscope.
Caroline Small, Katie Kettle Sasser, Johnny Hall Jr. 3 people all dead, 3 shootings all involving 1 Blaine County police officer. The News4Jax I-Team found they were all killed years apart and under different circumstances. But we also uncovered questions still surround the involvement of Brunswick District Attorney Jackie Johnson in all 3 cases.
Blaine County stands out as perhaps the worst example in my career. There is a culture set from the top, protect your own, to a fault.
Bill Atkins is a former Georgia prosecutor and civil rights attorney practicing for 25 years. He once represented Caroline Small's family in a civil suit over the deadly use of force by Blaine County police. Dashcam video shows Small leading officers on a low-speed chase in 2010. The 35-year-old mother was unarmed and pinned in when she was shot through her windshield by 2 Blaine County police officers, Todd Simpson and Corey Sasser. D.A. Johnson presented the officer-involved shooting to a grand jury. It was there that Attorney Atkins says the DA made critical missteps. First, Johnson provided the officer's defense attorneys with the evidence before she presented it to a grand jury. Second, Johnson went before the grand jury without presenting an indictment. And third, Johnson allowed the defense attorneys to actually participate in the grand jury hearing by asking questions. Atkins says all 3 of these actions were violations of Georgia law.
She violated that, plainly, unequivocally, and there was no consequence other than the fact that the 2 men went free.
In Caroline Small's case, do you feel like the 2 officers should have faced charges?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about it. The whole thing was just one of the worst abuses of authority and efforts to protect and, frankly, cover up police misconduct I've ever seen. It's remarkable to me that that woman still has her job.
Months after the Small shooting, the I-Team found Officer Corey Sasser was promoted. Fast forward to 2018, despite being accused of domestic violence while divorcing his wife, kicking in her door and threatening to kill her, that moment was captured on police body cam.
He said that tonight?
Yes, he did. He threatened me. He was upset. Just get him off my way.
Were you kicking on their door?
No, I'm not on the door.
Okay. Did you make it? Oh, don't.
Did I what?
Did I what? Were you kicking on the door? I've asked him to come over here.
I'll talk to Scott. I didn't go look on the door.
I'm asking you,
buddy. I'm a little upset.
I can see that.
The now police lieutenant was granted not 1, but 2 bonds to get out of the Blaine County jail. He was then fired, but still able to track down his ex-wife, Katie Kettle Sasser, and her friend, Johnny Hall Jr., shoot and murder both of them before killing himself.
Because Corey Sasser avoided justice in the Caroline Small case and was thus free to commit 2 horrific crimes less than 5 years later. That's the consequence of protecting your own to a fault.
Is there a systemic problem with justice in Brunswick and Glenn County?
I don't live in that community, but I worry for the people who do.
The IT reached out to Johnson's personal attorney as well as her office for comment. They both sent us the same statement released 2 days ago, saying in part, "We are confident that any investigation will ultimately show that our office acted appropriately under the circumstances. Our obligation has been and will always be to honor, protect, and abide by the law. In the interest of protecting the integrity of any future legal proceedings, our office has no further comment at this time." Reporting for the IT, Lindsay Gardner, Channel 4, the local station.
Some scary, scary stuff. There's additional information. Do you want me to just go over that really fast and then you can jump in? Or do you want to say something? We just don't know what.
What the thing about it is, remember we talked about certain things? I'm not surprised. You can't reform a rotten tree. You can't, you have to cut it down. So none of this stuff is surprising. And it's not surprising that you went to her house. The cops there treated you better than they were talking to her.
And then he went and murdered them all. Yeah, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. All the stuff I had mentioned before about the cover-ups and this and that, I mean, it's just crazy. So there's already plenty of reasons to believe that Travis McMichaels and his father, Gregory McMichaels, decided to chase the 25-year-old because he was black, and including the testimony from the state law enforcement agent who said that as the guy was dying, he was basically calling him the N-word. Additionally, Ahmaud Arbery's accused killers don't want the jury to see this photograph right here. This photograph of him, because you see, it shows, boom, boom. It shows his love for white supremacy. His car license plate is Confederate vanity plates, and they don't want that showing. That's for sure. You know, this is just, I don't know where else to just to put things in perspective. The flag in question is the second iteration of a Georgia state flag introduced in 1956 with the purpose of showing defiance to the federal government. It was created just 2 years prior. It was created just 2 years prior. The Supreme Court had struck down segregation in the landmark case of Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. And so, yeah, potential jurors right now with ties to Ahmaud Arbery's killers were not dismissed as jury selections drag on. So let me say that again. Potential jurors with ties to Ahmaud Arbery's killers were not dismissed as the jury selection drags on. It doesn't mean those 8 jurors are going to be in it, but 8 selected thus far allegedly were among the few who hadn't had hardened opinions on the case, but 2 of the 8 selected said they knew the defendant. This is what we're dealing with in 2021 because we have allowed police on October 18th, 2021, according to Reuters, the defense counsel in the trial of the 3 white men accused of murdering the black jogger Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia asked potential jurors on Monday whether they considered the Confederate flag to be a racist symbol. 3 out of the first group of 20 potential jurors raised their hand and asked questions during the jury selection in Superior Court. So we're talking, I mean, I don't want to say it like a town of racists. I don't know. They all know about it. The defense attorney for the white men accused of murdering Ahmaud Arbery are still bound and determined to put the victim, of course they are, on trial for his own death, despite the fact that the judge keeps telling them that it ain't going to happen. Well, we got a lot of factors pushing. They've asked that Arbery's mental health records be admitted into evidence, and the Superior Court judge said no. Don't keep listening. Don't leave yet. He said no. They've requested that a jury hear about Arbery's past runs with the law. The judge said no. Now, attorneys for Greg and Travis McMichaels are scraping the bottom of the "see the black guy's a thug" barrel and are arguing the jury should know that Arbery was on probation the day of his killing. Even this early in the trial, there's already more corruption. I don't consider this corruption. I consider this absolute purposeful, going against the law, criminal corruption. The court mistakenly gave potential jurors access to Ahmaud Arbery's mental health history. The Glynn County Superior Court website gave potential jurors access to suppressed evidence in the trial of Ahmaud Arbery's killers. The judge said no, and they posted it in public anyway. According to Vice News, this access to the suppressed evidence includes Arbery's mental health records, which were banned from sight by the judge. Jury candidates who visit the Glynn County Superior Court website seeking information about what time and what day they need to show up can view this information in just a click or two. All the motions filed so far in the murder trial of Travis and Greg McMichaels and William Ryan. So basically, the judge said no, and they posted it anyway. Those documents include specifics about Arbery's mental health and prior criminal history that a judge ordered suppressed and was to never be brought up. And lawyers are having literally a hard time finding somebody who doesn't know Arbery. Lawyers are having a hard time finding people who don't think Arbery was murdered or don't know at least one person involved in the case. And that is all she, meaning me, wrote. Do you even have words for this, Anastasia?
The system is working as it was designed to. The fact of the matter is that Klan white supremacists have always went to positions of trust. Teachers, judges, cops, sheriffs. And then you have nepotism. Because from what I understand about the father was a cop, but then he was decertified because he didn't do training with his weapon or something. Yeah. So the simple fact of the matter is lynchings have always been a family affair. It's always been a community affair. So I don't understand why anybody's surprised about this. This was Black torture porn for these people, because the third guy, if you remember right, he tried to play it off like he didn't know what was going on.
Oh yeah, he was.
Remember that? Oh, he was just videotaping it. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, he was there to tape what they were doing. And from what I understand, they sent that video to other people.
Absolutely. You see, these people were used to getting to do whatever the hell they wanted. And I cannot imagine how many thousands of people knew exactly what went down.
Exactly. We have had lynchings where 10,000 people were there and they took souvenirs from the lynchings of these people, of these Black men and women and babies. So the thing about it, I understand why you're surprised. I'm just saying I'm not surprised. If you are willing to say, I'm okay with people not knowing that we used to feed infants to alligators, there's nothing that you wouldn't do.
Absolutely. And I personally, I have a problem, Anastasia, and that's that I'm, even despite me knowing the history, despite me trying to educate myself continuously, the human factor is what I can't normalize this shit.
It's no. I'm not saying I'm normalizing. What I'm saying is
you're wondering why I was surprised. I'm not surprised because I'm surprised because I can't, even though I know, what do I expect? I can't. This is just human insanity to me that people are still doing this.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
If you went into the sea and you seen a shark, would you expect that shark to try to eat you?
Of course.
Okay. That's how I see it. That's how
On
I
an intellectual level, I'm not surprised, but on an
Right.
emotional level, I can't help but being like, my God, that's what I'm saying. I'm completely split.
Yeah.
Academically and cognitive, of course, I'm not surprised. This is what we do.
Yeah.
But I still am just blown away that there are people this inhumane in my lifetime still walking the earth. It's insane.
You're
I'll never normalize it. I just can't.
We try to give a conscience to a country with no conscience.
Yeah.
And remember the thing that I told you about Black people? It's easier for us to think that white people are non-Black people don't know because it makes you feel better. But they know. They know, and this is the way I feel about it, is that, you know, we've been dehumanized so much to the point where that means nothing.
Gotcha. No, I absolutely, I hear you, Anastasia. I hear you speaking your personal opinion, and I'm sure many people share that. We can't have had the history we have and are still doing it. Sundown towns, the Devil's Punch Bowl, massacre after race massacre after race massacre. My God, the disclaimer in the 13th Amendment, mass incarceration, for-profit prisons. I mean, I could just go on and on, and sometimes I do. It's just when I see this kind of like incredible, like just the depths. Yes.
You know who Nat Turner was, right? I know you know. But the fact that Nat Turner's body was boiled and used as grease, the fact that Black people's hair was cut off
and stuffed in
the every part of our bodies have been consumed in one way. George Washington,
absolutely,
using the teeth of his enslaved people. Black people being boiled in sugar. Like, for me, I look at Ahmaud Arbery like this is another day, because nothing surprises me than what they did to the Native Americans while Abraham Lincoln was touting, "Oh, I'm freeing Black people." You lynched 38 Native Americans.
Right.
You know, you understand what I'm saying? Like, the disgusting things, the children, the Native American children that were murdered at these schools, not just in Canada, right here.
Right, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, cognitively and academically, of course, I'm not shocked. I know all this stuff. But it's still just, I cannot. My heart starts pounding. I still just cannot believe. And you know what? I'm glad I still have that reaction, because I will not and cannot normalize any of this. I'm appalled every single time. That's probably what I do. Is because I cannot just be like, yeah, just another one of those. No, every single one is like a new one over and over again for me. And that's it. That's my own personal problem. It's an issue. It's no way to live, but it's unbelievable. And that's why I want the truth to be spoken and told. I don't know what's going to happen. They literally cannot find people who don't know about the case, because the entire fucking town was in on it, basically. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's, you know, T, it's not just really hitting me. This is going to sound strange. I literally have studied this for years, and every day I learn something new. And on a cognitive level, I'm like, yeah, sounds about white, you know, what we do. That's what we do. And that's why I say we have a white person problem in this country. Always have. But when I hear about these individual cases, I still am just blown away. I guess, I've been blown away by people for a long time, so it's nothing new, but I can't just be like, oh yeah, it's still just as depraved as the last one and the one before it and the one before it and the one before it. I guess that's all I'm really trying to say. Evil can't be explained. Nothing. Yeah, it's nothing new. We're just, what I tell the folks, the white folks, and they say, oh, this nation's just gotten so bad. I say, no. You're just noticing it. It's always been like this. So I think it's really important. But do you want to jump in with anything, any profound words? Again, this has been quite a night.
Well, yes. When you showed me that video, I don't know if you seen me turn my head.
I did.
You seen? Yeah. No. I wasn't. No. It's fine, sweetie.
I don't want to.
No, I get it. But I turned my head because I've seen that video before, but I just don't consume it anymore because I feel like I'm consuming him. And we did a run for Ahmaud Arbery. And after Ahmaud Arbery was killed, I started running more because of him. Because, you never think I'm just running, somebody's going to shoot me. But after Ahmaud Arbery, I started bracing for that, to be totally honest. And so it changes everybody. So when I turned my head, it was more like a PTSD type of thing. The only thing I will say is that this is CRT. And this is what they don't want anybody to see. CRT is just, you saw those three white men, and just zooming it out to, wow. So they hunted him down. The fact that there was more white people that went in those houses too. The same house that he was in, there's videos of white people in there too.
Absolutely. They went right into that, the house that was under construction. Tons and tons of white folks went in there.
But then what zoomed it out for me is what we talked about, the white victims of this same cop. Why did we never, this is the first time I heard about that. And this is what I was telling you, racism hurts you too. Mm-hmm. Because that cop felt emboldened to shoot that woman and then felt emboldened to shoot his ex-wife and her friend or whoever the guy was.
And he got promoted. He got promoted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So yes. shooting a black person, that's,
well, that happened in Mississippi. The man, he shot a black, the cop, Jenigan, he shot a black man and got Officer of the Year the next year. That happened in real time.
Yeah, the corruption is right in front of our face. We all know about it. We all see it. We should be all flipping shit in the streets. We have and have always had a corrupt, absolutely disgusting. I mean, it's like we all know it. The blue line, the blue wall, and it's just the way it is. It's like, oh my God. And it hurts white people too.
That's what I'm saying. You remember we talked about all the white people, the big cases of the white people that were killed by cops. Like, you should be mad because these people should still be alive. But it goes into a socio-economic situation too. You can look at that woman's car and know, I mean, I don't want to say that because that's me prejudging, but I'm just saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
If that was a 20 whatever BMW, do you really think, or Mercedes or a Tesla or whatever, do you really think that would have happened to that person?
That police officer was fairly certain that there would be no repercussions because she probably didn't have the money. I mean, we got so much crap going on in this country all at once. It's insane.
Right.
But anyway, great points. I could go on and on about this. This is just another layer of insanity. Another layer of insanity. You know, to be honest, these people weren't even going to be discovered. Days and months after. I mean, they weren't going to be discovered. And then I just go on and on. I hope that they get to the bottom of this, and this is just the beginning. I don't trust the system. I don't trust the jurors. I don't trust any of it. Welcome to America. So we can wrap it up tonight. Anastasia, I cannot thank you enough. You're wonderful. Your perspective is amazing. You get me thinking, and please accept my apology to anybody there who I did not read their comments because I really wanted to get to that. Ahmaud Arbery could have been my child. He could have been yours. He could have been anyone's. I have a child close to his age.
My daughter is a year older than him. She's a year older than him.
Yep. These are our children, and if you do not think that, then you are very naive. Very naive. And I mean you. I mean proverbially you. These are our children, and until we get that, this nation's going down. Not trying to be the soothsayer of doom, but I love you all for watching. Please help me to get more people by getting people to come on to the show, come by, watch the show, watch videos, tell me what you think. And thank you so much, Miss Anastasia. And your family for letting me steal you away this long. Good night, and you're wonderful. Great job tonight. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here. I knew how to stop it.